Hey, we're back with another episode or edition or whatever of the 12-2 podcast. And you're kind of looking at us and saying, well, there's Bud, but that's not Kevin. Well, there's a reason that's not Kevin, because that's Omar. I want to introduce you to, Kevin couldn't be here today, so I want to introduce you to my good friend, Omar Lugo.
Well, thank you so much.
Welcome, my friend.
How are you, buddy?
So good to see you. Awesome. Yeah, we are big friends.
I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, man. I'm proud of you, and I'm glad to talk to you today.
I appreciate you. You. Besides that, I wanna shout out to Kevin.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the show a lot.
You watch us?
Yes.
You watch?
I hear you guys while I'm at work, through Spotify. So
really,
yeah, man.
Man, that's cool.
Many ways to get stay in touch with the program.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you, Omar.
Definitely.
Thank you, buddy.
Definitely.
Well, Omar's a member of our church, right? Integrity Church, and Omar, man, he does so much. He is involved in his with Hispanics all over North Carolina, has been for a long time.
That's right.
Kind of helping, kind of bring the kingdom of God into the world of politics in many ways. Kind of a challenging.
That's right. Politics and culture in general, though.
Yeah.
It's very challenging.
That's your calling.
Yeah, definitely. Thank God, I'm able to speak Spanish and English.
Yeah.
We're teaching English in the community, in the non-speaking English, of course, community, and we're doing it for free.
Yeah.
We launched this English Language Academy out there.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. How's that going?
164 students.
Right.
We've been doing this for about a year. It's a way for us to penetrate in the in the market.
Right. Sure.
Use it as a bridge to connect people with God, but at the same time help them to educate them in the right things, in the moral things, especially in this moral battle that we're fighting, nowadays. So
I remember we first started talking about this, and we were excited because you had I think 22 at that point,
That's right? Yes.
And now you're up to 164. That's fantastic. Yeah, man.
We're like, but it's a lot of responsibility.
It's a lot. It is, but you can handle it.
Also, we're about to launch our Spanish language, program for Anglo speakers.
Right.
So
like me.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we've been proving. Our concept proven it's amazing. I mean, the way how we teach English, we find a different way. We created a platform. I mean, it's amazing, guys.
Well, we need to put something out real soon to our church family, right? So they can go to it, see it when you got that ready.
Definitely.
Yeah, because we have a wonderful Hispanic community within our church. Oh my goodness, we love you guys so much.
Thank you. We know. Yeah, I call him Papa. Papa Bot. Imagine that, man.
And that is a privilege, and I call him an adopted son. So we're going to get to that in a little bit, right?
Definitely.
About this conversation. So Omar's wife, Ruth, works in helps lead our play school and our summer camp.
Yeah, my bride is.
And
it's amazing.
Then you got your little guys, Omar and Thiago, who are a delight. And
by the way, if you see a kid dressed in a Spider-Man, suit, that's Thiago. So
that's Thiago.
Isn't a great actor?
Yeah. No, he is. He's going to be like Dad, right? He's got the personality.
I think he'll do better.
Yeah, he might. Yeah, that's our goal, right? We want our kids to do better.
And
always.
Omar has his my wife, personality, very strict, very forward. I mean,
right.
Very smart.
Smart. Very detailed. Very organized.
Yes, that's right.
We love the work that she does with us.
But we love our church. We love Integrity Church. It's been a more than a home for us. I mean, this is a place where, besides we call it home, we call it family. Thank you guys for everything that you guys.
Oh man, we love you, man. You're contributing. You're part of what makes Integrity a big part of what makes Integrity.
Appreciate you, Pastor.
So thank you. So we're here today at a very timely spot, and I told you I've been wanting to do this for a while. But now, particularly, you all may not know it, but Omar's home country is
Venezuela.
And Omar's heritage goes deep in the country, and experiences that he and his family have had. I know for a fact, because we've had these conversations, have put him in a really good place for you to kind of help us maybe understand what is going on down there, but probably not as much what's going on now, Omar, not yet anyway.
Right.
but rather what's been going on for years.
Right.
I mean, so just to kind of set a little context, you've been in the States now since
1999.
1999.
26 years ago.
26 years ago. So the first 20 or so years of your life, you were in
Venezuela. Right.
Yeah.
My dad was deeply involved in politics.
Yeah. So tell us all about it. Kind of go back and kind of give us the Omar story.
Sure.
The first 20 years.
Sure. Well, before I started doing, saying that, people, ask me, what's your title? Are you a political advisor? I'm kind of I do a little bit of everything. Okay. So,
I think of you. I think of you as a facilitator.
There you go.
You're a facilitator. Right?
So what qualifies me to speak about the whole Venezuelan, USA situation is that I'm both. I'm Venezuelan and I'm a U.S. citizen, right, by choice. So thank you. Thanks. I love United States of America.
Yeah. You do. I've seen that.
I mean, this is our home, okay? So,
and why you feel so passionate about the United States, I believe, is going to come out in your story.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So I want you to kind of get to that at the right place.
Definitely.
Yeah,
So let's take. I'll give you a summary, right?
Yeah.
So that was deeply involved into politics in Venezuela, all right, for
Your
the
dad.
longest, right?
Yeah.
Thanks to this guy, I learned that Venezuela never, in the political realm, okay, we never had a right wing, conservative, type of movement. Our, not like United States of America, where you have, mostly Democrats and Republicans, right? Mm-hmm. Left wing, right wing. Be that as it may,
it just wasn't a big deal. That
it was a big deal. And
Okay.
Let me get to that point because it was a big deal because we always had a center left or far left. So the far left movement was represented by dictators. Okay, throughout our history, right? Mm-hmm. So. Saying this part of history, we have to go back to the end of the 1800 era. Okay, what does that mean for United States of America and Venezuela's relationships? Mm-hmm. So historically, we always had a great relationship, always. Okay, since the independence of Venezuela from Spain. Okay. Be that as it may, the liberators back then, call it Simon Bolivar, and his group. They acquire international debt, okay, in order for them to be able to finance these independent, campaigns.
Right.
Okay. So with this debt, Simon Bolivar, passed. He passed away, and the debt remained as a responsibility of the country.
Of the country, yeah.
Right.
And who were the lenders, so to speak?
Okay, great question. England, okay, the Kingdom of England, the Kingdom of Netherlands, okay. Back then it wasn't Germany, but Prussia.
Okay.
Prussia. As a matter of fact, our flag, it's very alike. It looks alike, like the Russian flag.
Oh, okay.
There's also, I mean, our history is super interesting. Mm-hmm. Okay, but I don't want to go into those details yet.
Sure.
Because it's a lot.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Imagine, I mean, our Venezuelan founding fathers. One of them was really close friends to George Washington.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. One of them actually helped George Washington to take over the Pensacola. Okay, that was the sixth battle, and after that, George Washington began winning, everything else. But anyway, going back to these facts, these countries decided to do an embargo on Venezuela by the end of the 1800s, right?
End of the 1800s.
Correct.
Yeah.
So, meaning bringing ships to do a blockade, kind of like we saw.
Yeah, we see that even today.
Okay.
In the naval world. Yeah.
So, basically they threat to take over the entire country, and therefore, moving forward into the entire continent.
Okay.
Or at least that part of the continent, right?
Right.
So that posed a threat for United States of America, who was at the time, increasing territory, right?
And we had a good relations and all that good stuff.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, this is funny. The first consul, United States consul to the mission of Venezuela was actually from North Carolina.
Really?
Yeah.
How about that? That's interesting.
So there's actually a plaque somewhere, in North Carolina. I read it somewhere. So anyway.
And that's how you found out.
Yeah.
You came to North Carolina to learn that. That's good.
There you go. So moving forward, United States of America saw the threat of these countries, taking over this side of the hemisphere. Okay. Hence, they signed a treaty, okay, based on the Monroe Doctrine. Okay, I'm not going to go into deep, details into it. I challenge you, to.
Our listeners are very smart. They probably understand the Monroe Doctrine. They will go find out if they don't understand it.
Definitely.
Go ahead.
So they sign a treaty, and they say, you know what, you can take part of this territory. Therefore, we have the British Guyana, or the English Guyana. You have the French Guyana, and you have Suriname. Okay, as a payment, as a repayment, as a way to repay, that debt. The reason why is because in that area of the continent, all right, is where you find the majority of gold.
Coal.
Okay, gold, right.
Oh, okay, gold.
Yeah,
Okay.
Venezuela, it has a lot of...
Yes, natural resources are
galore.
Crazy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So imagine this. Back then, it wasn't oil.
Right, okay.
And so it was gold, it was some other precious metals. Okay, so these people, basically set up, tent at this area. And nowadays, actually, it's funny. I have family, I have friends that live there, and in this area, and they tell me, well, if you need money, basically you go to a river and you prospect. They use it like an ATM. And they pull out gold and they trade it, and
there you go. Right, you got to buy groceries for the week, right?
Anyway,
trade for them. Yeah.
Right. Some people call me exaggerated, but I'm challenging you guys. It happens over there.
Yeah.
So moving forward, Venezuela regained their territory. There's sovereignty.
Debt free now.
Correct. Yeah, debt free. That's right. Thanks to United States of America, thanks to the doctrine, the Monroe Doctrine. Okay, so the challenge now is, okay, how can we protect, meaning United States, how can we protect this part of the hemisphere, this territory? Okay, and the answer was to bring, okay, international investments. Okay, the Rockefellers got to Venezuela and they were searching for water. Okay.
Water.
Yeah, mineral water.
Mineral water. Okay.
Okay. Meaning from the springs.
Okay.
They found plenty, but they started researching, many other things, and they found this black thing, pouring out naturally in Maracaibo. Okay.
In where now?
Maracaibo. It's an area where the crude oil, okay, the heaviest, mix, pours out.
Okay.
From the floor.
Okay.
And they saw this black thing, this black tart. What is it? Tart? What is it? So they started researching, and they found out that this is is actually the best oil in the world.
And I have heard that Venezuelan oil is quite heavy or thick or
Correct.
whatever.
It contains a lot of sulfur.
Which requires, I guess, refineries some real challenges, right? The investment level is significantly different.
A lot of heavy machinery, technology, science, ingenuity, because this is the thing. Back then, it was two type of products that they could get from the oil that they were extracting in United States of America and part of the Middle East, right? So it was basically gas and what is called petrol, which is a mixture that, what we know today as diesel. Okay?
Gotcha. That's their diesel. There's our diesel fuel.
All right. So in Venezuela, they were able to find this, this heavy, mix, right? And they were able to break it down into many products, okay? Acetone, kerosene, diesel, many types of gas.
Now, this would have been probably in the first part of the
1900s.
1900s,
Yeah.
still in the 1900s.
Right.
Okay.
So they found they started researching, and it took approximately 20 years. So year 1920, that's when they, boom, they
So 20th century.
They announced to the world, hey, we found this, we found this thing. So that put Venezuela, in the pedestal of, we used to be called the Saudis of South America.
Right.
Okay?
Right. Yes, I've heard that.
Right.
Yeah.
So moving forward, Venezuela and United States of America commercial relationship start flourishing. Okay, to the point, Pastor Bob, that 1950s, Venezuela was portrayed in People's Magazine.
Yeah.
Okay, as a one of the top richest countries in the American hemisphere.
Yeah, at one point, I think the country had gotten to the place where the GDP in the Western Hemisphere, you were like third or fourth.
It was actually
in total gross domestic product per capita.
Right.
Crazy.
Believe it or not, I have friends whose grandparents, they were from United States of America. They migrated to Venezuela.
How about that?
Okay.
How about that?
I don't know if you heard of Joel Salatin.
Yes.
The crazy farmer, Okay, he was born in Venezuela.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I got you. So American entrepreneurs came to Venezuela.
That's right.
There around the first part of the 20th century, right? And made investments, did exploration, made investments, saw what they and I guess, Omar, because of the nature of the oil, the heaviness of it, and Venezuela, the greater capital requirements for the equipment, that caused the level of investment again proportionately to be greater in Venezuela.
That's right.
Out of the United States than in the United States itself and other places where we might have invested, which is a really important point, because somewhere along the line, when those industries, at least from our companies, were nationalized, that is a huge thing that we're not hearing a lot about in the news today. And I know I'm going ahead a little bit. I want to go back to where you were, but I kind of want to let our listeners kind of know that this is kind of where this is headed. So
great point.
Continue.
So all these investment, all this American investment, basically it's your money, it's your guys' money, it's our money.
Right.
Okay, that went to be invested in Venezuela, meaning that that's part of our property, meaning the oil that was being extracted, or that's being extracted nowadays, it's been refined, it's ours too.
And the leases, it's and that's why, because, for example, the investment from other countries in Venezuela, that's why that GDP number just skyrocketed. And the people of Venezuela were very well off. Not everybody was rich or anything, but they had opportunity galore in Venezuela during that time.
Italians came, after World War II, Spaniards, started coming to Venezuela, Italians, Syrians, Asians. Venezuela became basically the United States of South America.
Wow.
Okay? A door, for opportunity. Okay?
Kind of like everybody fleeing California and New York, coming to North Carolina and Florida and Tennessee, right?
Right.
Everybody was fleeing those countries and coming down to Venezuela.
But please don't stop voting the way you vote. Okay.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
So taking back this fact of history, right? So we were doing pretty good, during the years. Venezuela, not only oil but all these precious metals were utilized for World War II.
Some of this stuff was kind of that rare earth commodity as well, right? That's all the diversity of resources there is what just kind of blows you away.
It's crazy.
So many different groups. Yeah,
it's crazy. So and it's not only that you find all these metals and rare earth. It's galore.
Yeah.
So two things happened that was very important, all right? And I'm going to mention where do I learn, how do I learn all these things, not from books precisely, but actually being there, witnessing all these things.
Sure. Okay. Better than books, by the way. First-hand experience.
Appreciate you. So 1974, the dollar standard, the gold standard, got dropped off, Nixon, all that happened. Venezuelans, government at the time got a bit nervous. Okay, and people don't understand the situation,
because they were so tied to the dollar.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
So, fiat currency came out. People kind of didn't understand, what was happening. Where are we going to trust? So it's very important that you guys understand this part of history, because right now, many factors, many factions out there in communist, Marxist, be that as it may, they're trying to debilitate, all right, or weaken, okay, the dollar value out there.
Sure.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So
because the goal of communism, socialism, is to take the existing institutions, collapse them so that they can rebuild the institutions on the basis of socialism, communism, etc.
Exactly.
Right.
So in the geopolitical, world, okay, so Venezuela, what they did, they nationalized the oil industry, meaning United States, we're going to take care of extraction. You guys are going to lend, okay, the all the technology, materials, and machinery, okay, to refine. Okay, one great thing that the oil industry did in my nation, they created the engineering schools.
Okay.
So no wonder why many Venezuelans, okay, they hold a 2 diplomas, they speak languages. We're one of the most educated, people in the world.
Again, because of the oil boom
Exactly.
and the other minerals.
Exactly.
And okay, great.
Okay. So unfortunately, what that led to was it opened the doors, for corruption, because now the nation was basically the money that was obtaining from the oil industry, investments and things like that, they were being mismanaged.
Okay. Yeah.
So they did not reinvest on the technology or machineries or anything like
So
that.
who was the leadership at this point in time in the country
In
Venezuela?
His name was Carlos Andrés Pérez.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
He's the one that led that nationalization.
Correct.
Now,
Center left type of guy.
Yeah.
People say, well, he was very conservative, because if you compare it to the American,
the way we see.
Right. Family oriented, morals and things like that. A lot of censor in our TV station and our media.
A lot of censoring. Because under
right, but most towards the moral side. No cursing. Things like that.
Yeah.
Right.
So things that we might think when we put parental controls on our kids' devices.
Exactly.
Right. Okay. Right, good.
But there was the other part, okay, that people didn't kind of consider. Okay, we began seeing a decay in our education. The education, style or standards, they started dropping off. Meaning they didn't want you to learn much about politics.
Yeah, because in the world of communism, there really is no politics because everything is just one flavor, right?
So
and you don't question that flavor.
What my father used to say is like, listen, that was the beginning of the decaying and actually opening the doors for communism, for extreme communism, okay, extreme Marxism, okay, in the new style to come into Venezuela. So we started seeing a proliferation of guerrillas. Okay, we started seeing proliferations of actually guerrilla invasion from Cuba. Okay, trying to get in, by force into Venezuela because Cuba was trying, Fidel Castro's regime, they were trying to get a hold of, capital.
Because we're in the 70s now,
correct,
and this nationalizing occurs, and certainly Castro was well into his, embedded into his office, so to speak.
Correct.
And so you began to get these influences. Now was Carlos
Pérez? Carlos Pérez, right.
Was Pérez? Would you consider him a socialist or a communist? Doesn't sound much like that. Was he a Marxist?
So a Marxist always will be a Marxist, okay?
Yeah.
Soft or far, there will always be be a Marxist.
To some degree.
Right. They used to call it, social democracy.
Right.
Okay? And it's funny because
I must work in New York City now, right? Whoa. Oh my goodness.
Thank you.
Yeah. Wow.
Kind of like a Bernie Sanders, type of guy. So anyway, we started. So my father said that because he we started, we sat down to compare. I mean, I wasn't born in 1974. I was born in 1978. All right. So,
yeah, right. A little before your time, right? Make sure.
But I mean, growing up, I used to come to work with him. I used to do my homework, on the floor and listening to all these, amazing conversations. And that's how.
Because your father, his occupation, just kind of tell us about your dad a little bit, just in general.
He was an administrator. He studied political science. He became an advisor for many of these, presidents. I remember his internship. I'm gonna mention this real quick. His internship was actually with the American government, trying to figure out what happened at Jonestown. You remember when that?
Yeah, sure. The Kool-Aid, right? Sure.
So that's when my father, kept telling me. That's how I realized, how Marxism actually works. Okay, in many different ways.
Because Jones was at heart a Marxist.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And actually follow the money. Who financed all these people moving to Jonestown and all that stuff. So,
sure. Yeah.
I mean, my father had an interesting life, man.
Yeah.
An interesting knowledge. I mean, he encouraged me, to read books. But after reading books, he's like, okay, what did you learn? And we talk, and he's like, do you research that? There was no internet back then. It was just a library.
Yeah, yeah.
So he taught me to be an avid reader, a researcher. Encouraged me, to go beyond, whatever we read. So anyway, we established that was the beginning of the decaying. Okay, of the political system in Venezuela. Okay.
Right.
Moving forward all the way to year 92, Hugo Chavez came with a revolt.
1992.
Correct.
That's when Chavez. Now, was Pérez was in office up until. Was there anyone in
Pérez
between?
was in office until 1979. Then there was another president, which my father started working, in the Venezuelan government. It became, a political advisor, then a diplomat for a few, missions. We began. My father started a program where there was an opening door for human. We call them human assets back then, which was basically scientists. Professors, intellectuals from other nations that were, under communism. Funny, right? So,
yeah, right. Yeah.
So I remember, seeing very interesting people at my house, at any time. Professor from Chinese, a missionary from China.
Wow. Yeah.
People running away from Iraq or Iran. Iran was.
Wow.
That's
big. Yeah.
Knowing and talking to these people. People coming from El Salvador. An amazing. Imagine being, 8, 9 years old and having this contact with, with all these people, though. So,
yeah. Right.
And getting to learn about all these different experiences. Though. So, 1992, this guy, came up with a revolt known as Hugo Chavez Frias, and basically he got arrested after just probably a few hours, of his revolt. Got arrested, got in jail, was judged, and I'm sorry, he was in jail and waiting for his judgment.
Kind of the trial,
correct.
Trial and all that, yeah.
So that's when actually Carlos Pérez, the president in 1974, he basically Chavez was trying to overthrow his government. Okay, accusing him of major, cases of corruption.
So Pérez was back in office at this point? Okay.
Correct. Second term.
Second term?
Right. Was being accused of all these, crazy cases of corruption, which there was some corruption, but not to the level that we see nowadays. Right.
Right.
Venezuelans used to say, well, at least they used to steal, but we were eating.
Right. Yeah. I got you.
Okay.
So when Chavez came to power through this revolt, that's when things.
No, he was in jail.
He was in jail at this point.
Correct. Waiting for a court date, for judgment.
Waiting for the court. Right. But he was able to somehow.
So this is what happened. So Carlos Pérez got indicted. For this case of corruption. Then we started seeing all these distortions in our meaning, having all these politicians, occupying the presidency of Venezuela, just basically point by finger.
Oh, just revolving door kind of thing, right?
Correct. So until we finally, called to the call to elections, and we elected Rafael Caldera.
Okay.
a Christian social democrat.
It's an oxymoron.
I don't know how it works.
What that is, yeah. So somehow we got from a Christian social democrat to Chavez, right?
That's what I'm saying.
Well, you know what? One of the great things that we're gonna that's gonna be a cliffhanger. We're gonna leave that as a cliffhanger right here, Omar, because we're kind of out of time for today.
Right.
So we're gonna have to do a part 2 to this. And so I'm interested in how we went from a Christian social democrat to Hugo Chavez,
Please, man.
and see how we did that, and kind of understand a little bit more about your father.
That's why it's very hard to impress a Venezuelan nowadays.
I got it. We'll be back. See us next time. Thanks for being with us today. And we hope you'll join us for part 2. Fascinating.
Awesome.
Fascinating,
Awesome.
Omar. Thank you, my friend. Love you, buddy.
God bless, guys.